All right, folks, welcome to another episode. My name is Michael Huggins. Welcome. This is our meetup on Zoom. We called it our Zoom Up. I got my co-host today, Mr. Scott Rowe. What's up,
Scott Rowe, Chi-Town, baby.
Yeah.
Logo.
Welcome.
Right.
So we are representing a coast-to-coast nationwide network of real estate investors that has linked arms to help each other get out of the rat race using proven and effective systems. Now, before we get into that, I want to remind everyone real estate is risky, and you should always have your own competent legal advice and some proper education around this, because you can make a boatload of money, but if you screw it up, you could also lose a lot of money too. And so,
Michael,
also,
you sound like the Robin Hood CEO.
Nice. That's
you threw him off. You threw him off. Good job.
Something else. All right, thanks, Justin. All right. Anyway,
boatload of money. Hey, I'll go next.
Hey, why don't you go?
Make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
That's
right?
what we're talking about.
Work with a community of like ours, right? And our community goes way back. You're actually going to be introduced to a guy that's been with us since 06. The next step, if for some reason you're interested in working with a huge community nationwide, you want to make sure you're working on a weekly basis, you got to schedule a plan put together, get what you want to get done, then you're going to want to make it to an intro, a property tour, or a workshop, You can do them all. You can do one. I saw an intro. I know that you saw an intro, right, Michael?
I saw an intro. I went to an intro.
You saw an intro. Justin, what'd you see?
Saw an intro and then went to a property tour and a cash flow game.
All right, there you go. So there's lots of ways to get to know who we are and how well we're doing, so that you can figure out if hanging out with this group is for you. Just get back in touch with the person who invited you here so that you know what you want to do next. But is that good, Michael? Anything else?
Yeah, just stay connected. There's a lot to learn, and so you're gonna have to keep a coachable mindset. There's a lot of people who think, oh, I've done a real estate deal. Check out some of our past episodes and hear those stories. And then when people actually get linked up with us and what's possible. So
yeah. And listen, you're hearing from, there's a couple phenoms on the line here with us today. I'm just the old guy that happens to put good ideas together. But Michael Huggins is sitting on 265 acres at 32 years old, pulled himself out of a Jiffy Lube oil pit at 22. How fast you do your first deal, bro?
Yeah. So yeah, folks, I was super pissed off. I had 2 jobs. I was working 70 hours a week, and I decided to get into short sales, not having any of my own money, but being linked up with people who were professionals here. And within 3 months, I got something under contract, worked it 6 months later. So 9 months into understanding this process, I replaced my job's income, my whole yearly income, with that one deal. And so I was actually able to quit a job. I'd always been fired, so it was actually really fun being able to quit something and put in my 2-week notice.
Yeah.
So
and me, I lost a big job making $212,000 a year, subsequently lost everything and decided to go into real estate. And fortunately, because of the guy you're going to hear from today, we've done a ton of stuff out of this building. And we've opened up, I've got students in every state in the country, including Puerto Rico. We've helped over 15,000 people do what they're doing today in real estate. And one of the reasons is on the line tonight. So I'm glad you guys joined us.
Yeah. So remember, folks, after today's episode, get back with the person who got you here and get the additional links that you're going to want to stay tuned for. So I've just heard a lot of good news about, and a lot of great things about our guest today. Impacted a lot of people. But how did it all start? This is the question, because this wasn't by accident. This was definitely some hard work.
We're going to affect everybody on the line here today, because when Justin and I met, it was 2006, wasn't it, Justin?
It was. Yes.
This would not exist if it wasn't for those kind of relationships that I met a long time ago. We would not have modeled this. In fact, ready for this? This is historic. Look at your watch and remember the time that you heard what I'm about to say. Justin was the first guy to hear about a study group. So when I conceptualized that study group in my office, I was thinking, man, how can we take this game to the next level? I'm like, what a great idea. We just bring everybody together every single week around the classes. And then I walked 2 doors down and I asked Justin, I sat in his chair. I'm like, hey, would you be willing to stand in front and facilitate a study group on buy and hold on a weekly basis as the students took the class and then came to you? And then all of a sudden deals were happening because they actually took their classes and used them. And what did you say, Justin?
I said, absolutely. Let's do it.
And that was the first person I ever told about a study group. Then I went to Steve, and then I went to Bobby, and then I went to Nancy. But Justin was the absolute first person that ever heard about a study group. when God gave it to me in my brain. So this guy has done some incredible stuff, and he's been through the good, the bad, and the ugly in real estate. That's all. And he's a sticker, right? He's not a guy that gives up. He's a committed guy. He's consistent. I met him when he was a struggling band teacher. So I don't want to take any of his thunder away, but you got to hear this story because he's doing some incredible stuff. This is your future. Like what's possible with you being here today or starting with us. What you're about to hear is the path that you could take to the to a life that this guy's now leading. So help me welcome one of the originals of what we did here, Mr. Justin Kain.
Justin Kain.
Justin Kain.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Michael.
All right, so tell me, so just start off with, you were a band teacher and you were band teaching and you saw a meeting. Go.
I was a band teacher. You can see the photo behind me. That's actually a painting from my first principal on my first concert. So I put that in my office to kind of remind me of where it came from. And you guys were telling about all the stuff that you lost. I never had anything, so I couldn't lose anything. When I got started in real estate, I had nothing to lose, literally. So my wife and I, we got started, and I said, we could keep on spending $10,000 a summer to go to Northwestern and get a master's degree for a 79-cent a day raise in the Plainfield school system. Or we could, spend some money on some education and see if I could become a real estate investor. And I knew you could make a lot of money in real estate. I did know that. I had met some people, and my own parents had made more money on one real estate deal, the house they lived in, than they ever saved. So that was back in 2006. We got started. We started going to the education. Then I met this crazy guy named Scott, and he had just made over $100,000 in a month. And I thought, man, if I could just learn to do some stuff like he does, what could I do? So anyway, Scott was gracious enough to allow me to watch him work. And for 3 days, I sat there and just listened to him and watched him. And I thought, man, that is awesome. If I could just learn to talk like him. And so I just started copying what he was doing, and I was on his team and had some great mentors there. And in 2007, Christina and I made over six figures. So we made over $120,000 that year, which blew my mind. I mean, $120,000 was a lot of money for me. A lot of money. I mean, almost an unimaginable amount of money coming from our background of being a teacher. So then fast forward.
Sorry. So how much were you making that year?
As a teacher, I worked all the way up until mid 2007. I was at about $32,000 a year annually.
Okay.
And my wife was about the same. We're starting teachers.
Okay. Oh, you were both teachers.
Yes, she was an English teacher, and I was a band teacher, fifth grade band teacher.
Okay.
All right, move on. So then let's talk about how fast did you do your first real estate deal from time you started to the first deal.
So we started the education in 2006. We bought our first 3 properties in 2006. I don't necessarily recommend moving that quickly, but if you're crazy and you want to, fantastic. Jump on in, the water's fine. It was a lot. We learned a lot of lessons, and then the bottom fell out in 2008. Continue to push forward, and in 2009 we bought 49 properties here in South Bend, Indiana, and started a management company. And
all right, this is a good story too. I know, because we're in a different market. I want to make sure they're clear on this. It was a crash, right? So you bought 49 houses. I gave it away. 49 houses. How much did you pay for that?
We paid $135,000 for that set of 49 houses. Now, that is like buying, let's call it, stock in a startup, or in a company that owns cruise ships in like April 1st, 2020. You would have done really, really well, but it could have gone both ways. But we started a management company. We worked and worked. And through a lot of different things. In 2018, I came across a deal where a guy had 247 properties for sale, and it was all in the South Bend area. Was working with the company that we merged into, And so we decided to, come back to South Bend in a big time way. And between 2018 and 2021, we own, me and my three business partners own 362 properties of the 950 that we manage.
Nice.
1,000 right now. So we've got some big plans. Just got back from Arizona and took a 4-day planning trip out there where I, just wanted to create more of the vision. And so our goal is 1,000 properties by the end of 2022. We'll own 1,000 properties here in this area and open up a new market either in Louisville or Arizona. There's a couple different markets that we're looking at with a national company called Roofstock. So we just got increased from a $10 million line of credit to a $15 million line of credit with our company. And so there's a lot of great things going on, a lot of great things in real estate right now. And I think that the current administration is going to be a really, really good administration for real estate for a lot of different reasons. But I think whatever you think of the regime change, it's going to be a very good, very, very good time to be in real estate. So it's definitely possible. So, we make, our goal is to have more passive income from our real estate, from our assets than we have expenses. And we are slowly but surely getting there. So having quarterly distributions and controlling large blocks of assets and having a great ownership structure is what we're all about. And then also being able to pass that knowledge on and teach other people how to do it, with our team here. So it's really good to be able to be the one that, is sharing those concepts and what to do, the specific steps to take.
All right,
Let me
I
ask
got
you a question. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
So going back to when you were a teacher and this brilliant idea popped in your head, oh, I'm going to throw away 6 years of college education and I'm just going to start a real estate business. When you told people at the school you were working at, was that received well? Do people think, oh yeah, that's a great idea? Or were you encouraged or discouraged? How did that go?
I got both reactions. I had, some people that said, oh, don't stay out of teaching for more than 2 years because then it'll be very difficult to get back into it. I said, okay, thank you. And then I had some people that said, oh, that's a great idea. I've always thought about doing that. Let me know if it works and we'll follow you, which none of them did. But so
And it comes down to
anyway.
what I said yesterday, right? I mean, when you start doing so well, right, that they're like, well, that's why you want to engage with people as soon as you get started and have them go on that trip with you. Because when you start doing so well, you seem like a fantasy now. You're that unicorn they'll never touch.
In
It
a
does
weird
seem
way?
like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Great. Now you're a unicorn. I guess we're unicorn makers.
We're all
We
unicorn
are
makers.
unicorn makers.
Unicorn makers. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
I got a question.
All right, go.
Question. All right, can I ask him? All right, so Justin, you just mentioned something about a $50 million line of credit, right?
15, 1-5.
Oh, sorry.
1-5.
Someday.
It's probably 2 years.
2 years. 2 years away from 50. Okay. So think about that. Like a lot of people on the line here. I need you to talk to them and say, wow, because 15, you said yourself, $120,000 was a lot of money. Like that was astronomical to you at one point. And I need everybody to understand perspective here. Like this isn't like 15 million tomorrow, because I've got some people on the line are like, dude, I just want to do my first fix and flip. And I'm like, man, hit your lily pads. Hit this lily pad and then hit this lily pad and then hit this lily pad. And as long as you stay on the lily pad road and keep hitting your landings, if you hit the water, get out on the lily pad and then hit another landing. Give us an idea about your perspective today. Looking back, you're like, okay, your fantasy world, like, holy crap, to what you are today. Because I've hung out with you. And you conceptualize stuff. You're definitely an intellect, right? So talk to people about they're just getting started. What would you suggest first? They're just getting started. What should they do?
I would say you gotta start writing 1,000 goals. That was one of our first assignments. And taking the education that is available and finding out where and what is possible, because if you don't know something is possible, you'll never go after it. So let me break it down into 3 steps. First of all, you need to have a book. I call it, you need to have some sort of study material. So get some study material. There's plenty of material out there. There's some great books. There's some great resources. This company is a great resource. And then you got to have a teacher. Lock onto somebody who's more successful than you. The one person that we did, he told us to write 1,000 goals, which is much more difficult than you actually think it is. We just realized one of our goals in Arizona back about 14 years ago. We said, hey, we'd always like to have a horse ranch, and we chose this picture, and we put it on our goal board, and we stuck it, in our thing that rotates on our computer. And we just looked at a $2.9 million horse ranch in Arizona when we were out there, and it was amazing because it almost looked exactly like the picture that we've been looking at for 14 years. So even if something doesn't happen for 10, 15 years, it's important. And some of those goals, we accomplished. Like, we wanted to take a trip to Israel. We wanted to take a trip of a lifetime, and that happened in 2008. So some of the goals happened early. Some of them have not happened yet. But start by writing that 1,000 goals, and then you have to have what I call the band. Like, if you're hanging out with a great band, you're going to be a better musician. If you want to be a great tennis player, you're going to hang out with great tennis players. If you want to be a great golfer, you start hanging out with some scratch golfers. Guess what? Your swing is going to get better. You're going to be more focused. You're going to actually be a better player just because of the people you're hanging out with. And if you want to be a better real estate investor, well, you got to hang out with better real estate investors. In fact, I just had lunch yesterday with a guy who's probably worth easily $15 million. So he's talking about, this 100-unit boutique condominium project we're going to build. And, he's developing 10 acres, and he just built, a nice building that overlooks the Notre Dame campus. And on the top of the building, you've got 1.2 and $1.3 million penthouses. And, those are the kind of things that he's thinking about. And, I'm just trying to think about how I can buy the next 23 pack of single family homes. So, as you progress, you want to be hanging out with that band. So you need a book. You got that. You need a teacher. Lock onto somebody that is further down the road, and it's the kind of person that you want to become. And then you got to have a band, like a good group to hang out with. And if you don't have a good group of people that are positive and like-minded, which probably isn't your family, as much as I would love to recommend hanging out with your family, it's probably not going to be those people unless you have an awesome family. Get a group of positive, like-minded people that are going to push you and make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like I want to lose some weight now, so I should not be hanging out with people that are like, yeah, let's go get some beer and chicken wings and watch the Super Bowl. I got to be hanging out with people who are like, yeah, let's go do some running and let's go get some yoga in, and we're going to drink a green drink during the Super Bowl. So if you gotta like find those people who are going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Kelly Austin's probably drinking green drink during the Super Bowl. She was giving me the applause there.
Yes. How long did it take to write down 1,000?
Keely?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Oh, I haven't got to 1,000 goals. So I'm actually.
There you go. There you go. Love the honesty.
I have failed at my
first goal. Write down 1,000 goals, and I haven't gotten there yet. That's great.
So, a lot of times if you make a big goal, you want to learn to make a goal that's not so big that it becomes an excuse to procrastinate, but it's a big enough goal that it'll get you further than making a small goal.
Can I make a suggestion for this room when you're saying that? Because I need a lot. Look, I've known you for a long time, and I'm fortunate to have you watch me for 3 days straight when you needed it. So my suggestion for the folks that are listening to that, like, sometimes you set your goals, like, it's fantastic to have that horse ranch goal, but you'll frustrate yourself if it's that far.
Oh, that
out.
wasn't the only goal. And
yeah, I know, I get it, but I'm making sure that people understand this.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you have to have a tax structure goal. Like, it's so easy to start a company goal, right? Like, what's my company name going to be? And then celebrate that. Hey, I do have a company, get to talking about it, get excited about it, and then move on to, don't just sit there in that little revelry. Like, hey, I achieved that goal. What's next? What am I going to do?
I got a perfect. So there's this business credit class.
Yeah.
And I was not very good at business credit. So I was super happy back in January, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I was able to call up Amazon and on a whim, I was trying to take care of some back office housekeeping. I was able to call up Amazon, our line of credit there for a company, and I was like, "Hey, can you double our line of credit?" And they're like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding," and they said, "Oh, sure, yeah, we can double that." And I was like, "Well, that was so easy. Didn't hit my personal credit. They just looked at what we were spending, and boom, they doubled it. And it will never ever hit our personal credit. It was so awesome. So I celebrate the little things. Man, I probably went and got 3 espressos because that happened.
And that's what I'm talking about. I want to hear
So
that
great.
because I mean, a lot of people like, oh man, Justin's so awesome. But you have to realize when I met Justin and Christina, I went to a birthday party at their house, right? And I was embarrassed for them.
Really? It was that bad?
It was in the roughest neighborhood in Aurora, right? I was a little worried. I thought, man, I hope they get out of here quick.
They have great burritos there.
Nice.
They had some great.
I did not say that.
burritos.
I did not say that.
We
Please.
had-
Oh man, that's tough. I'm just saying it was in a very rough place, right?
I think my father-in-law was he was pretty disappointed when he first drove up to that house.
Exactly. And listen to me. I'm like, okay, I hope this guy sticks with what we're doing here because he deserves to get out of harm's way. And that's how I felt about it. Right.
We looked at a $5.6 million brand new construction house on the bottom of that looks up at Camelback Mountain in Scottsdale last week. That's where we're going to be. We're going to end up maybe not right there on Camelback, but definitely over there.
But you have an idea where you're headed, and the most important thing I want everybody to hear, it didn't happen in his sleep. He didn't dream it, and then all of a sudden he woke up and under a tree was all this success. This is a guy that constantly thinks he wakes up and he works Monday through Friday, right, to be where he's at today. So,
Monday through Sunday during tax season.
Nice.
attaboy.
Yeah, I set a goal when I joined to get a laptop.
See there.
But
That's
I had the
perfect.
same thing. I wanted to get on. I promise you, on our original goal sheet, I had iPad. I really. Well,
That's it.
we hadn't
See
even
that?
invented an iPad, but it was
Okay,
like,
you had
I could
iPad.
just buy an iPad.
This is so important to hear, guys. iPad next to horse ranch, right? And then it's like a big board. You're like, well, let's check that one off. And then all of your board is getting checked off more and more and more.
And sometimes, we had a goal to take a trip to Williamsburg. I always wanted to go there, and we did it in, when I was in high school to take all of our kids. And our goal was 2015. We want to take a trip to Williamsburg in 2015. Well, we didn't take it until 2020. So
You nailed it.
just put your goals out there and then try to find somebody who can help you get there. And
All right.
ask a lot of questions because you don't know who. Like I had a goal of driving a Lamborghini, and then Scott was able to give me a drive, and I, burned out his clutch 3 times. And you know what? I found out I don't even want to own a Lamborghini because you know what they don't have? They don't have cup holders in Lamborghinis. So I don't want one. I want a Rolls because they don't have cup holders in Lamborghinis. So I can just scratch that right off my list. Don't want one.
Done.
So funny.
There you go. Right, Scott?
It has been fun. You learned how to drive stick in a Lamborghini. That's funny as heck.
Oh,
We have it on video.
That was on
Your
video.
idea.
It was.
Because you know why? And I'll tell you why. Let's put it in perspective. This is why, right? Justin and his advancement and his evolution was more important than a Lamborghini clutch, right? And when you keep things in perspective like that, when you start working with people and you make sure that the soul of the person is more important than the amount of money you could make or save, that's when you really do become successful, right? When people see that kind of integrity in you, you were more important. Your experience was way more important than a clutch, brother.
So let me give you guys just a perspective of what's on this end, because it's so awesome. Like, so we drive up to this Bourbon and Bones restaurant in Old Scottsdale last week. We're here to kick off our awesome planning session. We're gonna go and I drive up, and it looks like a Chrysler 300, but it's not. It is a Rolls Royce matte gray finish, unbelievable, and it's sitting right there. And I'm like, wow, that is a $600,000 car. Then we go to get coffee the next day, and we're sipping, and there's this little, lady that drives up, and she drives up. I was like, wow, that is a Bentley. And then there's a Lamborghini that flies past us as we're going to look at this, $2.9 million house. I was like, man, whoa. Like, I'm here. Holy cow, I'm pinching myself. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. But let me end on this story. We are able to, we have 4 property managers here. And during Christmas, like right before Christmas, we said to them, we want you to go out and look through your portfolio. They each manage about anywhere from 150 to like 200 plus houses. And we said, don't help the person that's not trying. We want you to help the person that you feel is like really, really trying. We want you to give them a gift card, a nice big gift card, and we want you to take care of all of their back rent. Like the people that are really out there trying, the single mom who had to quit her job because of COVID and she had to take care of her kids because there's e-learning and she just didn't want them to fall behind. So, she's trying to take like second jobs and stuff. Like we were able to spend almost $10,000 and take care of people that had really challenging, tough times. And like, it was awesome. It was, and it created a great energy on our end. It was awesome for them. And it's awesome to be able to do that.
Yep. All right. You want to finish this thing up and tell people what to do there, Michael? Phenom Huggins?
Yeah, that sparked a question when you said, so you went to a 4-day mastermind planning session. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's just us, our business, me and my 3 business partners. And then we brought the spouses in over the weekend. It was fun.
And that's where you saw the Rolls Royce.
Correct.
It was on that trip. Gotcha. Okay.
And I think it's important for one last thing here. For everybody who's on the line, like when we're in our day-to-day jobs, it's really difficult to be able to think new thoughts. And sometimes, a meeting like this where you say, okay, I'm gonna start hanging out with a different group of people. That is key, because I looked at my wife, we're getting in our little neon after our first meeting. I was like, wow, these guys are crazy. They talk about crazy stuff. We never have to call them back. And I remember distinctly, like telling my wife over the neon, like, hey, if this is going to be too crazy and freaking you out, then we can go back and never, ever think about this thing again. We can like go back to our jobs and we don't have to do, this would be crazy and our lives will change if we do this. So there is like, if you guys think, man, I don't want to change, then you never have to call us back. But if you do, it could completely change your life.
Start stretching yourselves. All right, Michael, can you
close us up, or I could go all day.
Yes, he could go all day.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
is there an espresso we need to go celebrate with now?
Yeah.
No,
I need to work harder. I need to catch up to Justin.
Way cool, Justin. Well, congratulations. Thank you for sharing your time, your expertise, your knowledge. And it's very exciting to see and empowering to see, coming from where you came from, with that mindset of just continuing what a decade can do of compounding results and getting out of the rat race and showing people how to do it, right? Not, I think said it a different way, but what you said was impact over income.
Yeah.
Right?
They're both important.
Impact, right? They're both important.
They're both important.
Make an impact, make an income.
Absolutely.
You know what? Sometimes I just think, well, money's so easy to make if you're just doing the right things, right? Like in my world, that's how it is.
Care of people.
I haven't gotten to that level yet, Scott.
All right, well, stick around, Justin. We got a couple bonus questions if you're willing to stick around after the recording. All right, folks. So we have an entire playlist. I believe this is episode 73, 74, somewhere in there. We're continuing to go to our 100 to show you and inspire you to get off your butt, face your fears, and chase your dreams. We're here to link arms with you. You do need to, ball's in your court now. You need to get back with the person that invited you here and request a link to the intro. You can get a recording or you can attend one live. We got our house tours. Between the teams and the networks we have around the country, there's over 200 a year that you could participate in. So there's so much activity going on. And then come to an intensive, come to a workshop and make a decision, get involved with us. So with that, we'll wrap this up.
Make a decision.
There we go. Appreciate you being here, folks. See you on the next one.